Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the electronics for this drill. There's two plugs that need to be plugged in. Come down here below my joystick. There is this plug, which controls your auto steer, and the bottom plug, which controls your blockage monitor. Okay, the auto steer is the actual, that plug controls this monitor here, and the steering wheel actually has a line going directly to the battery because it's a really high amperage, so you want a thick line for that. Turn the monitor on, the button's up top, and this is your GPS. Okay, I'll let that boot up. This is your blockage monitor. You flip this on, it's gonna go through all three modules and do its self-test. All the lights should light up. And they all do. That means that all the blockage monitors are sending signal. So as soon as you start planting, the thing's gonna start running. If it's beeping at you, then you have a blockage. Right now, we haven't started running yet. This thing's still booting up. Let's go over the hydraulics. I hooked this up. There's 3 different hydraulic switches. First one controls your up-down. So you pull this back, that raises up the gangs. You see them raise? Okay. And neutral on this right now for this tractor, it bleeds off. So if you leave the thing in neutral, the gangs are gonna slowly lower down to the ground. You can probably see them lowering right now. It's very slow, but they do. So when you're making turns, you just leave this back in the back position, okay? When you're drilling, you push it in the front detent, okay? Once that happens, you can see your pressure gauge here go up. You can see it's up above the yellow, or in the yellow or green and yellow border. Now if I float it, watch it. See it? It went down. Now float means there's no active down pressure, but you need active down pressure on this drill. So when you're drilling, this stays in the forward detent position, okay? That's when you're actually planting, okay. Second one, this one controls the wings. When you pull it back, the wings will raise. See them raise? And that's all I'm gonna do. And when you push it forward, they'll lower. And I run this and float. That way when you're going under uneven terrain like this, that wing can pick up or lower down depending on, you know, the terrain that you have. And finally, you have your fan. Okay, this is the most important thing. The fan goes in the forward position, and when you turn it off, you put it in float, which is all the way forward, okay? So, inside the console here, right here, you got 4 different knobs. It's on number 4. This controls the speed at which it's going. So start it out at 0, okay? We're gonna turn this on. So it hit the detent. There's no speed. I'm gonna gradually turn this knob, okay? Gradually. You'll see here on your monitor, it's gonna start displaying percentages. You see number 4. I wanna bring it up to 42%. That's gonna be roughly where I want that fan set. You have the right PSI. So now, if you listen, you can maybe hear the fan running, but it's running. And if you have really good vision, you can see that silver knob, that silver dial on the gauge back there, but you probably can't. All right, now if that's running, I'm gonna leave the fan running. I'm gonna close this. Always keep the fan running. Do not drill with the fan not running, or you will have a huge mess, because the fan is what's sucking the seed out of the venturis and pushing it down the rows. If the fan's not running, all those venturis back there will get plugged, and you'll have to go unplug them all, which is a pain. So don't run it without the fan running. Always just leave the fan running is what I do, and that's a good way to stay safe. All right, let's go over the GPS. Hit accept, and I'm going to continue the job I was on. Okay, it's loading the map. I've already done most of this field. Okay, so anywhere that's green is the places that I've drilled. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Well, I did drill that, I just didn't have my thing on. To make it apply, you push apply. And so as I drive, it'll have a green streak. See, right there, I forgot to put my apply on. So what I have to drill is this area up here. So I'm gonna make my way up there and find a line. Once you find a line, you put your tractor right, say right here, this red line here. If I were to turn this way and follow that line, then I would be on the line, and then I could push this, which would engage my auto steer, this top button. This has to be on too. So before you start, make sure this is on. I'm gonna go ahead and travel over there so you can see what's going on. Okay, Okay, so I've driven to where I haven't drilled. You can see over here, I went over, I've drilled, and over here, that way I haven't. You can see that reflected here on the monitor. This way I have drilled, and this way I haven't. You can see I'm on the red line, which is my next line, okay? That's where I want to be. You can see back here, you see that black line, that's my implement. And the green is where I've drilled before. And if you look behind me, you can see right in front of my tires here, that's the line that I have. So from this thing, it's about right here. That's when you want to put your drill down and start drilling, okay? You can also see here on my monitor, it says A. That means all the modules are currently blocked. That's normal because my drill is picked up. And when I let it down, that's not normal. So once I start going, you'll see that it's going to cycle through all the modules and make sure there's no blockages. And only beep at me if there is a blockage. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run about 1900 RPMs. Okay. Driving forward, and I'm going to let my drill down here. Goes down, and I'm going to slowly release the clutch, and then I'm going to push this button. You can see it when it turns green, it engages the auto steer. Now you can hear this thing. It was beeping at me to start with because it had a block. It thought it had a blockage, but then it stopped. So now I have no blockages, and I'm drilling. Tractor's driving itself. Easy enough. All right. There's some rough area up here in front of me. You can see this injection well here. So to slow down, instead of pulling your throttle back, you're going to downshift. And that's right here on this. Downshift to slow down. Don't reduce your throttle because you need the horsepower to pull this implement. Now through it, and go into upshift. Now this drill and this tractor, you can haul. I mean, you can go 9 miles an hour. No problem. Let's go ahead and get it up that fast. That's gear 12. So then I get my acre counter on. This is my acre counter here. I'm gonna slow it down so I'm not going so fast when I'm shooting this. Here's my acre counter. To work this acre counter, to reset it, you hold down the A button to where it's reset, and you can see it's on, off, auto. You can change that with B. I want it on right now, so I'm planning at 24 acres an hour. Usually I shoot for about 30. Okay, you're looking back here all the time, so checking to see if any hoses come off. Remember, if the hose comes off before the blockage monitor, it'll show you that you have a blockage. If it comes off after, you're not gonna know you have a blockage because it's still sensing seed come through, but it really isn't. So you need to pay attention to that. So I'm coming up to my turn row here. Oh, I forgot to put my apply on. Put your apply on, okay? See how I start? See, watch. Off, on. See how I did that? Okay. That's helpful, this apply on and off, because that lets you know where you're going. Because it's hard to see where you're going and where you haven't. Without that, you can, but it takes some skill. So as I approach the end of the line here, as soon as I hit the green, I'm gonna start my turn. And then, as soon as this black line passes into the green, I'm gonna pick up. I can't really do this and film at the same, maybe I can. Okay, coming to the end. I got it under my chin here. I want to slow down. Okay, I am coming to the end here. I'm going to start my turn. That disengages the GPS. I'm going to pick up on my drill. Make sure that my drill's picking up. See, it's not picking up. Sometimes this drill will do that. You have to pay attention to where it picks up. You do not want that thing down on the ground while you're turning. I don't know why this tractor does it, but it did to me yesterday too once. It usually happens when you're not paying attention. So always pay attention to that. Every time you turn, look behind you, make sure it picks up. And I kind of messed this turn up because I'm filming at the same time. Back on my line, pull it down, I'm gonna back up. It's too hard to do. You can see it's reading all kinds of blockages, so I'm stopped. Backing up. Okay, now I'm back on my line. This becomes way more fluid than this once you get good at it. Lower down my gang. I'm gonna press my button, get on my GPS, that navigate me, and now my buzzing stopped, which is normal. Okay, that pretty much sums it up. Make sure that that gang picks up when you make your turn. I don't know why this tractor's doing that. It's annoying. Don't make a turn while it's in the ground. So every time you make a turn around while you're turning and make sure that gang is picking up. And if it's not, it's pushing your clutch and stop. Okay, very important. Okay, so here's the blockage on first module, number 11. So I'm gonna go see what it is. It's definitely a blockage though. Let's go find out. So number 1, number 11. So my first module's on the left side. It's over here. Second module's in the middle, third module's on the right. You can see the modules here. 1, 2, 4 over there's 3. Okay, the odd rows are on the back, the even rows are in the front. So, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. This right here, that's the blockage. I've got my 5/16. Bring your nut driver with you when you come out of the tractor, so you don't have to come back in the tractor and grab it. Alright, here it is. Since it's just one hose that's blocked, I know it's not the Venturi, so that makes it a little bit easier. Let's see what's going on. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. This one. We'll take it off here first. I've got air coming out here. We'll put it back on, and I'm gonna shake this. I get the seat right now. See it? See that seat coming out? See all that seat? I just came out of this hose. Alright, I gotta tighten that back up, and I'm gonna go back in the tractor. Alright, with this no-till drill, you can turn some with it. Do a slight sweeping turn, like around a tree, and you can leave it full down pressure on. If you need to make a sharper turn, like not a straight up 90-degree turn, but like a little bit sharper than just a sweeping curve, you can put it on float. That'll take off the pressure on those units. You need to make a really sharp 90-degree turn, you have to pick it up, okay? Absolutely pick it up with a 180-degree turn. You can make a really wide sweeping 90-degree turn at the corner of a field, but you cannot do that with a really sharp corner. So up here, you can see I got this injection well coming up. I already know that, I'm planning for that. So I'm going to slow down before I get to it, and gradually I'm going to sweep around to the right of it because it's right of center of my tractor. It's really bumpy over there, so before I get there I'll slow down quite a bit. I'm going pretty slow right now, but I'll slow down before I get there even more. You'll see me making my turn. My hands are still off the wheel. You can see it's doing its own thing. About 75 yards away. You gotta make a nice sweeping turn. If you're gonna hit it, just stop. Pick it up, back up, okay? Don't take a risk. Okay, I'm slowing down. And this is really rough soil up here. So right about now I'm gonna turn to avoid this injection well. I'm keeping an eye on my unit, making sure I'm not gonna hit it. I wanna start turning back the other way to get back on my line. Okay, it's really rough here, slow down a little bit more. This rough spot, back on my line, I hit the gauge and I drill. Okay, on my next pass, you'll see that I'll have a little bit of overlap there, which is fine. You can see the overlap that I'm going to have. No, it's not letting me. But I'll have overlap, just trust me. Alright, just finished the field. And I want to show you my monitor here. See this? This means that there's some sensors at the bottom of the hopper back there. Let you know when you're almost out of seed. I got about 2 acres left, so I'm just gonna run it out in the field. As it runs out, we'll start seeing blockages show up. I'll show you that. And I'm probably gonna run this till pretty much every single one of those is blocked. That's what I wanna do. Try to get this drill empty. So, I'll keep on running. And some stuff that wasn't planted with as high a seeding rate. And then I'll show you what happens when it starts blocking. Alright, now you can see I'm starting to get some blockages showing up on 3. So it's basically empty on the right side of the tank. The left side's still good. If that gets really annoying, you can mute it by pushing this button up. As soon as the new one comes blocked, it's gonna beep at you. So I would expect number 2 to start showing blockages after 3 coming up. Now I could go back in the back and scoop that over so it's even. See, now 2's blocking. Mute it again. Still more. We'll go ahead and run it until it's empty. Now 1's starting to block. So basically, as soon as you get any of these modules beeping at you, and you know that you're empty, you may as well go refill. Especially when you're planting this stuff. If you're planting like veg and it's a low seeding rate, then looky there, I guess something must have shook around back there. If you're planting veg with a low seeding rate, you can go back there and scoop it, it's worth your while. But normally that's not the case. When you're planting wheat or oats with a bunch of fertilizer, you may as well go back there and unblock it. Like I said, I want to get this empty because I don't want that seed to freeze up inside the tank. So I want to get it as empty as I can. And I'm going to park it in the shed so it doesn't get wet during this rain chance. So I got quite a few of them that are blocked now. And go ahead and head on down to my trailer. What do? Yeah, and I'll go back there and look at it, make sure it's good and empty. Look it down there. You can see quite a few blockages. Alright, so finished up drilling. Go over what you need to do when you finish. While these wings are still folded down, go ahead and run the fan for probably 3 or 4 minutes while you get your leaf blower, blow everything off, blow all the horizontal surfaces off, get all that seed out of there, get all that fertilizer off of there. Like I said, fertilizer will corrode stuff. If you have a shed available, go ahead and park this under the shed. If you don't have a shed available and there's a chance of rain, it's a heavy chance of rain, you probably need to take it to a shed somewhere. If it's just like a little 1/2 inch to 1 inch chance of rain, you know, make sure that your top is buttoned up real good. You got most of the seed out. In an ideal world, you go and get your air blower. Have somebody in the back with the leaf blower blowing the tank out as you're running the drill to get all the seed out of there. Key things is you don't want the fertilizer to get wet. The other thing is you don't want these electronics to get wet. It's a sure way to make them not last very long. I just installed new electronics across the board on this thing. So let's try to take care of them. Yeah, run the fan, get all the hoses really good and clean. Run the fan will do that. Blow it off the air blower, park it under the shed if it's available. And that's about it.